What's up, Lorehounds? It's Koopa back inside the Defiance booth. I'm here with Tony Morton, the level designer. So PvP, you guys actually have 3 different modes, or we're going to see a 4th talked about?
Yeah, so right now we have the 3 different modes. We have traditional team deathmatch, we have capture and hold, and then we have Shadow War, which is our opt-in open world PvP.
Okay, and for team deathmatch, it's just 6 on 6?
Yeah, right now for what we have here at Gamescom, we have 6 on 6. We're planning on one map that's a little bit larger, and then capture and hold will feature 24 players and then also 32. The 24 and 32 will also feature vehicles as well.
Is there going to be any kind of guild combat, like a guild war?
Yeah, so we are planning on clan combat and clan wars and whatnot. I really can't go into a lot of details right now, but it will be definitely something that'll be entertaining to look forward to.
We know Shadow Wars is your open world PvP. Before we get into more specifics on that, what is the core gameplay for just basic PvP in this third-person shooter?
Right, so we looked at our gameplay for third person, and we noticed that a lot of games are doing cover-based third person. And we wanted to step away from that because it seems to be the norm. So we went for much higher mobility, so that's why we have the higher jumps, much longer kill times. And what this resulted in was a little bit more on the action-based side, and we feel that it plays kind of like a first person with the view of a third person, so it's a little bit fresh and refreshing. We really, really enjoy that.
What do we have as far as our loadout? It seems pretty minimal, and that has to speak to really it being a cross-platform game, correct?
Yeah, so we have the loadout right now. You're allowed to carry 2 weapons. You have your grenade, your shield, and your ability. So for one, working with the controller and not having to worry about hotkeys and all that kind of stuff, as a typical MMO would, it made access and the ease of accessibility much, much higher than something that we wanted to accomplish. So you have your 2 major weapons, and then the grenade is also customizable, the shield is customizable, and so are your abilities. So while you may only have, I think, 5 things to change out, you still have an extremely high level of customization to make your character who you want to make the character. Because in Defiance, you play the game how you want to play. We're a classless system, so you're not bound down to a choice you make early in the game. You can just change it whenever you want and really, like I said, play Defiance how you want to play it.
Just whenever between matches, if you're feeling you're sniper happy today, you just switch the weapon out?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to penalize you because you change your mind. I mean, that's just silly.
So what's the point of the PvP? Does it have its own reward system? Do we actually gain things that are different than the PvE world?
Yeah, so with our PvE and PvP, one thing we really want to concentrate on was not really holding you back. We wanted you to be able to take your equipment from PvE, bring it into PvP, play PvP, and go back. Now what this means for us is we're not going to hold you down by stats. So while you play PvP, you're going to gain PvP currency. So we're going to have weapons and shields and grenades that you can get through PvP that you can't access in PvE, but you can still use that in PvE. So there are motivations, to play PvE as it's to access more and more content and more gear.
So it's unique gear that you earn, but it's not unique to PvP. So it's not only effective in PvP.
Right. So it's unique to PvP in the essence you can only get it by playing PvP, but it's useful in both scenarios.
And equally useful.
Yes.
That's pretty important because a lot of times you get this idea of resetting your character when you decide well, I don't want to play, I don't want to quest anymore, I'm going to PvP, and now you feel like a noob because you don't have any of the right gear.
Exactly. And this really goes back to, we're not a traditional MMO. We don't rely on a dice roll. We are a skill-based game. So if you have the skill to shoot somebody in the head, get the headshot and get the crits, you're going to do better.
So to that end, can you go through the game and level cap through PvP? Can you actually earn XP to level cap and without doing any quests?
Yeah, if you want to play the entire game PvP, then you can play the entire game PvP.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. So let's jump over to the open world PvP, Shadow Wars. Yeah. How is this going to work? Is it just kind of out there at any time, or is there designated areas for a reason to be fighting?
So Shadow War takes place, like I said, it's in the PvE world. As people are running around doing missions and adventuring together, it's in the same zone, for the lack of a better term. So it's not like areas are set aside. The areas in our game are used for both. So, they can be used for missions, they can be used for Shadow War. What we didn't want to do is have a really cool place that you go to once every now and then, and that's it. You don't have any other reason to go for it. So, and the other thing this did was it made the world feel very dynamic. You may go through a certain area of the game at one point and they're having a war. You go through it again, maybe not. But then when you get to the next area, now the war's migrated over there. So it just makes the world feel a lot more alive. And since we're a server-based game, we can pull all those strings behind the scenes and, really have a lot of power over what goes on in the world. And it gives the player a much better experience.
So we got Defiance. We got a whole lot of PvP going on. We just checked out, heard about. When do we actually get our mitts on it?
So Defiance will be out April 2013, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the PC, as well as the television show on the Sci-Fi Network.
And right now, Shadow Wars, we don't know what the cap is.
No. Right now, Shadow War's still in development, but I promise it'll be a play to kick ass and a side awesome.
Total Mayhem Defiance in April.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.